She's the queen of country music, a fiery red-haired force who sold more than 75 million records, conquered every award Nashville ever created, and built an empire stretching from Broadway to Hollywood. But for Reba McEntire, success came with scars no trophy could ever heal. Behind the rhinestones and the perfect smile lived a woman who learned early that love and hurt often share the same heart. For decades, she carried her pain quietly, turning every wound into music. Nashville asked her to smile, to keep the songs sweet, to bury the truth beneath sequins and applause. But at 70 years old, Reba no longer has to pretend. She is finally ready to speak the names, 5 men who changed her life in ways the world never saw. Some were family. Some were lovers. Some were powerful men who assumed she would stay silent forever. Each of them left a scar. Each of them forced her to choose between breaking down or rising stronger. This isn't a story of revenge. It's a story of survival, how every betrayal forged the legend we now call the Queen of Country. 1. The father who doubted her. Reba McEntire was born on March 28, 1955, in McAlester, Oklahoma, and raised in a small ranching community called Chalky. Life there was tough, built on dust, livestock, and strict discipline. Her father, Clark McEntire, was a 3-time world champion steer roper, proud, respected, and intimidating. Her mother, Jacqueline, was gentle but firm, the first to recognize her daughter's rare musical spark. But inside their home, Reba learned early what disappointment felt like. Clark couldn't see music as real work. Again and again, he told her singing wasn't a job, that it was foolishness. Sometimes he said it bluntly. You just don't have the talent to make it. For a teenage girl with dreams bigger than the Oklahoma sky, those words were knives. She sang at rodeos and school events, trying to earn the approval that never came. Even in college, studying music, she heard his voice in her mind. It's just a hobby, Reba. Then fate intervened. In 1974, she sang the national anthem at the National Finals Rodeo. That single performance opened the door to Nashville. But even as success came, her father's doubts followed her like a shadow. Every critic sounded like him. Every rejection echoed his voice. Clark wasn't a villain. He was a cowboy shaped by his era, a man who equated hard work with dust and sweat, not microphones and studio lights. But to Reba, he became the first man who ever underestimated her. The first man whose doubt became the engine that drove her. Years later, when a reporter asked her what pushed her hardest, she didn't hesitate. Proving my daddy wrong. Even after he passed in 2014, she carried the pain of one thing he never said. I'm proud of you. 2. The Nashville executive who tried to silence her. When Reba arrived in Nashville in 1975, she walked straight into a world ruled by men, smoky offices, backroom deals, and unspoken rules about who deserved the spotlight. To many executives, she was another small-town girl with a decent voice. And one man in particular made sure she stayed in a box. He chose her songs. He shaped her image. He dismissed her ideas. When she asked for deeper, emotional ballads, he shut her down. Female singers shouldn't get too serious. Her ambition made him uncomfortable. For years, she recorded what they handed her. She smiled in public and cried in private, singing songs that didn't feel like her own. But anger can be a powerful teacher. In 1984, she finally got control. She chose her own songs for My Kind of Country. The album exploded. Critics called it a revival. Fans heard the real Reba for the first time. When she held the CMA award that year, she didn't just win for herself, she won for every woman Nashville told to sit down and smile. The executive who dismissed her faded quietly into the background. But Reba never forgot. He became the symbol of the industry that tried to bury her, and failed. 3. The husband who tried to cage her. In 1976, Reba married rodeo star Charlie Battles. At first, it seemed perfect, two Oklahoma hearts, tough and traditional. But as her fame grew, his pride shrank. Charlie wanted a wife, not a superstar. Every ovation she earned felt to him like a threat. Arguments became routine. He accused her of caring more about fame than him. Reba, raised to be loyal, stayed longer than she should have. By the mid-1980s, she was winning awards on stage, and fighting battles at home. Every argument made her feel smaller. It echoed her past, another man she loved who couldn't celebrate her ambition. In 1987, after 11 years of trying, she finally chose herself. She filed for divorce, a scandal in conservative Nashville. She left the ranch with little more than her horses and her dignity. It was like walking out of a cage. Charlie wasn't a monster. He was a man who tried to shrink her to fit his world. But by leaving him, Reba reclaimed her power, and her voice became stronger than ever. 4. The partner who broke her trust. After her first marriage, Reba believed she had finally found real partnership with Narvel Blackstock, her guitarist, band leader, and eventually her manager. Together they built an empire, hit records, sold-out tours, a sitcom, Broadway shows, everything. She believed they'd grow old together. But in 2015, Narvel asked for a divorce, suddenly, without warning. Within weeks, he had moved on with someone else. Reba was shattered. She had woven her entire life around someone who had already let go. She didn't attack him publicly. She never does. But those close to her say it was the deepest cut of all. Still, she rose again, managing her career alone, rebuilding her life piece by piece. Narvel became the fourth man on her list, proof that even loyalty can break overnight. The rival who mocked her pain. By the early 90s, Reba was country music royalty. But success breeds envy. One well-known male singer whispered behind her back that she was manufactured, that her fame was more marketing than talent. She ignored him, until tragedy struck. In 1991, a plane carrying 7 of her band members and her tour manager crashed, killing everyone on board. Reba was devastated beyond words. And that rival chose cruelty. He joked that without her band, she'd never sound the same. She never named him, she didn't have to. Nashville whispers travel fast. Instead, she answered him the only way she knew how, with music. Out of that grief came For My Broken Heart, one of her greatest works, a declaration that even tragedy couldn't silence her. 6. And then there was fate. Some betrayals don't come from people. They come from life itself. The 1991 plane crash became the wound she carried forever. She had been spared, and she never understood why. She hated the randomness. She hated the emptiness. She hated that fate could be so cruel. But even in that darkness, she found purpose. And she rose. Again. Today. At 70 years old, Reba McEntire isn't just the queen of country. She is proof that pain can build legends. The 5 men she once resented, and fate itself, became the fire that shaped her. Every heartbreak sharpened her voice. Every betrayal carved her strength. Every loss became a song that healed millions. She doesn't sing to prove herself anymore. She sings to show others that survival can be beautiful. So after everything she's endured, do you think those betrayals made Reba stronger, or just harder? Tell us what you think. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more untold stories behind country music's greatest icons.